Hi, I'm back for day 2. How very unlike me. Big day today, as in today's set of 6 questions were all about big things. Let's recap. Question 1. What character, who has appeared in major Hollywood films in 1998, 2014, 2019, and 2021, made his American debut in a 1956 movie co-directed by Terry O. Morse and Ishiro Honda, and starring Raymond Burr? Now, if you know Raymond Burr at all, it's probably from the 70s detective series Ironside, where the gimmick was that he was a detective in a wheelchair! So wacky! But yeah, as a younger actor, he found his way to Japan to shoot a monster movie. We all gotta eat. It's recently finally become a viable Hollywood franchise, but it's kind of uniquely Japanese. It was a pretty decent metaphor from how World War II shook out from the Japanese side. Nuclear, yeah, it's a whole thing. Also, last year the Criterion Collection released their 1000th title, and it was a box set of all the Godzilla films remastered. It looks gorgeous, and I want it. Question 2. Identify the type of boot. An ankle-high leather boot with two or three eyelets and a rounded toe, which takes its name from the sport of polo, and its term for the 7-minute periods of play into which matches are divided. Now, there are 2 ways into this question, either the polo version or the boot version. I didn't know the name of the boot, but I did know the polo period, so I typed in chukka and hoped for the best. If you're not sure whether you like polo or not, well, on the one hand, horses are awesome. On the other, the last Olympic polo champion was Argentina, who won at the 1936 Olympics in Germany, which, well, yeah. Question 3. Among the various West African empires that flourished during the early modern period are the Asante in present-day Ghana, Mossi in present-day Burkina Faso, Oyo in western Nigeria, and Dahomey, which was located within what other present-day country in the region? Now, one thing about getting better at trivia is that there are some lists of things that are kinda useful. Oscar winners in the big categories, Shakespeare plays, the periodic table, as best you can, the different Star Trek captains, that sort of thing. And it's good to know former names of cities and regions and countries, especially in Africa. It does come up, Rhodesia, Abyssinia, Southwest Africa, German East Africa. There's tons more. It's worth knowing. And Dahomey, in your mind, should be tied to Benin. There's a foodie series on Netflix called High on the Hog that's so good. I'll link to it below. It talks about all of this stuff. Question 4. Ragnarok is an Old Norse term that translates as Twilight of the Gods. What word, popular in an operatic context, is a German translation of that phrase? Is this what kids call a yekioid? Or is there enough context to pull the answer out with just a smattering of German knowledge? Or opera knowledge, perhaps? Götterdämmerung is the name of the final movement in Wagner's Ring Cycle, which is the source of the proverb, "It ain't over till the fat lady sings." Don't use that anymore. That would be Brunhilde, who was traditionally needed some heft to bring the biggest notes in music history down from the heavens. By the way, don't use that anymore. Try "It ain't over till it's over." It's a better phrase. But Götterdämmerung, such a great word. Götterdämmerung. Ugh. Question 5. A specific and now popular type of sculpture was developed by Alexander Calder, beginning around 1931 and named by his friend Marcel Duchamp. What is that name? Talk about a Pavlovian response question. If you read or hear Alexander Calder, you can stop listening and put down mobile. He was the undisputed master of that particular art form. I mean, I didn't know Marcel Duchamp came up with the term mobile, but, sure. Here in New York, there's a bunch of Calder mobiles at the Museum of Modern Art in New York. They're kind of cool. He was really onto something. So yeah, Calder, mobile, Those 2 things right together. Last question. The study of microscopic anatomy is histology. Its counterpart, macroscopic or visible anatomy, is sometimes called macroanatomy or topographical anatomy, but is most often referred to as anatomy with what other descriptor, which appropriately means large. Okay, now, I did not know this. When I later read it to my wife, she was all, well, duh, it's gross anatomy. Well, fine. I wonder, especially at the end of this particular set with Godzilla and Ragnarok and all these African empires, how many people would guess Anatomyzilla or Götterdämmer anatomy or some such. I'd heard the term histology before, but no way I knew what it was. Medicine in the body is not a particular strength of mine. We're gonna have to file that under subjects for further research. So, fine. See you tomorrow! Perfect timing, dog.